Pittsburgh's North Shore. Once Three Rivers Stadium, and not much more.
I thought Pittsburgh could be in a different place.
Now it is, nearly 25 years after Three Rivers went down. A major transformation.
If you want to transform a region, a part of a city, you really need anchors.
To walk in and see it open for the first time was really great.
And I sat in that dugout and I just looked over at the skyline. And I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off of downtown Pittsburgh.
Stadiums surrounded by rivers, trails, and now new condos and restaurants.
I feel like North Shore was an untapped opportunity.
The North Shore reinvented, and it's not done yet. This is the new North Shore. Now, here are Channel 11 anchors Gordon Lesh and Lisa Sylvester.
Thanks for joining us. It's hard to believe, but the last game at Three Rivers Stadium happened on December 16th, 2000, more than 25 years ago.
And so much has changed on the North Shore since then. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at what it was, where it is now, and the improvements still to come. Pittsburgh's North Shore, separate from the historic North Side, it was long home to Three Rivers Stadium and surrounded by an abundance of concrete. Great for tailgating, but not much else. There was barely a strip of grass and very few places where people could even get to the river's edge. 25 years ago, the North Shore was an eyesore and ripe for transformation into a new destination. Taking a look at the area today, it's astonishing to see the progress that's been made. Progress that began with a new stadium. First PNC Park, then Acrisure Stadium. Also public space and trails, a live entertainment venue, the Science Museum and casino. As the North Shore became an integral extension of downtown Pittsburgh, the light rail was extended under the Ohio River. And today, the work still continues with new hotels, housing, restaurants, entertainment, and retail. In just 25 years, the changes have been dramatic, fostering lifelong memories for generations yet to come. The biggest promoters for the North Shore development was then Pittsburgh Mayor Tom Murphy.
And he knew the city had to do something to keep our sports teams in town. Chief Investigator Rick Earl sat down with Murphy, who is now 81, retired, and living on the North Side, where he has been for 51 years.
But for me, it was not just about building the ballparks. It was about this legacy, a small market team, a small market like Pittsburgh compared to the New Yorks and Los Angeles, is that we were able to have 3 major league teams. And I wanted to keep them. And I knew the Pirates would leave.
Fearing the Pirates would leave, then Mayor Tom Murphy agreed to build a new baseball stadium to keep them in Pittsburgh. But that meant he would also need a new home for the Steelers, who shared Three Rivers with the Pirates. He also threw in a new convention center.
Hey, I was at a meeting and I said, look, rather than us fighting about which could come first and let's just build all 3 of them at the same time. And I have no clue how to pay for it.
There was pushback, especially in a city struggling financially. Voters overwhelmingly rejected a referendum to pay for the new venues. But Murphy pushed on with his vision for the future.
That you could spend all your resources on today, on police, paving streets, getting snow off the road, or you could take some of those resources and invest them in the future.
And look where it paid off. Right?
That's the risk, right?
Murphy's team considered several locations for the baseball park. They actually made a model and tried it in different places.
If we put a baseball park in Market Square, what would we have to take to make it work, right?
So you looked at a bunch of
So we looked at different places, yeah. and we really came to that place. That it was a perfect place. So we wanted it to be close to the city and the skyline.
They settled on the North Shore. To make room for a new ballpark, the city purchased 30 buildings, including a senior high-rise, relocating most of them to new apartments near Allegheny Center. A fan of Forbes Field, Murphy says he fought with developers over the design.
You know, they were making it much more modern looking, and I wanted it a much more old-fashioned stadium.
Murphy also had the road along the river moved inland a block to make room for a walking trail.
I wanted the trails. I wanted to get the rivers. Yeah. So, and I always envisioned the trail as a continuous trail connection in the whole city.
Murphy was instrumental in developing the system of trails along the rivers. Still, there were skeptics about the new North Shore development. An article in a local newspaper questioning the project.
If all it becomes populated with are local companies that have shuttered one location to move in and shift its employees, the North Shore will become yet another monument to the Murphy administration shell games. Your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, people disagreed. I mean, and the Tribune Review was leading the band, right? And I do have a moment of I told you so, but
vindication.
But more, I'm just happy for Pittsburgh. We would have lost the Pirates and the Penguins if we hadn't figured out that deal. And the Steelers might have built something out of the suburbs.
In addition to the stadiums, there are now office buildings, a hotel, restaurants, and bars. And the multi-entertainment complex Stage AE opened in 2010, attracting crowds year-round. The North Shore has now become a popular destination, like the South Side or Lawrenceville.
In your wildest dreams, did you imagine that it would be like this?
I did. I thought Pittsburgh could be in a different place, right? Now that I imagine everything that happened now.
And it likely sparked development just up the Ohio River where the casino sits. And above that, the new Esplin project with condos, retail space, and a giant Ferris wheel.
That's building on the success we've had. I mean, that's what's happening. Yeah, I mean, the casino, and then that is, I mean, it's pretty, that's unimaginable to me that it's generated the kind of continued investment over there.
All of this, though, wasn't without some growing pains. Pittsburghers are nostalgic and they don't like change. Saying goodbye to Three Rivers was hard.
But many of the athletes who made the transition, including Pittsburgh's own John Wehner, say it was easier than they thought. Here's Channel 11 Shelby Cassesi.
Few cities would turn a stadium implosion into appointment viewing. But Pittsburgh did just that almost 25 years ago, when Three Rivers Stadium came down on a cold February morning.
Yeah, it was sad things that did go down.
And fans weren't the only ones who struggled to let go.
Three Rivers was so great of a home field advantage. I mean, it was loud. I mean, it just had an energy and a presence about it.
I drove by that day and saw it on the ground and thought, my goodness, you know, just like that.
It was an emotional goodbye for those who made history inside its walls, and few felt it more than former Pirate John Wehner.
I didn't hit many home runs. I joked about it before the game with Greg Brown and Kevin Young, actually. I was like, wouldn't that be something if I hit the last home run at Three Rivers?
A moment manifested.
Wehner, deep left. Look at this. Steve! Oh, my goodness! He's done it!
It was the bottom of the fifth, October 1st, 2000. Pirates hosting the Cubs in the final game at Three Rivers Stadium. A Carrick boy hitting the last home run in Three Rivers history.
All I could think about was to slow down. I wanted to take it in. I wanted it to last as long as I possibly could. I couldn't keep from tearing up when I got back out to the field, to third base. You know, the fans reacted when I jogged back out there, and you know, there's tears in my eyes, and it was just, and again, it was because of the reaction.
A small number of athletes lived the last days of Three Rivers and were among the first to step into the North Shore's future. In 2001, PNC Park and Heinz Field made big first impressions.
This stadium, you got a chance to see a little bit of the character of the city, which made it really impressive.
I was in awe when you went out in that field, and I sat in that dugout, and I just looked over at the skyline. And I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off of downtown Pittsburgh.
Former Pitt Panther Lusaka Polite remembers when sharing a stadium with an NFL team was only a recruiting pitch.
I remember being on my recruiting visit and kind of being told about the vision and what to expect in a couple years, and then to see it, you know, come to fruition, that was super cool.
Though Heinz Field hosted an NSYNC concert and a Steelers preseason game in the summer of 2001, it was the Panthers that played the first official game there. A 31-0 win over East Tennessee State on September 1st.
Touchdown Panthers!
Just all the excitement around it, from the entertainment to all the family coming in and the fans, alumni. It was just a joyous occasion, and I'm glad we came out with the W.
And a moment that still resonates.
It's super cool to just know that you were a part of something new, that we, our recruiting class came in off of a 2-9 season, and we felt like, hey, that doesn't matter. We feel like we can be a part of history, we can be a part of this movement, and yeah, we were right.
When we come into the city and I come through that tunnel and I see that stadium, I just think of home.
I'm Shelby Cassesi, Channel 11 News.
And a beautiful home it is. Well, Steelers president Art Rooney had a front row seat to the transformation on the North Shore.
The North Shore was basically a junkyard on both sides of the bridge.
The changes through his eyes and the special nod to tailgaters.
And we'll introduce you to the 102-year-old World War II veteran who helped to bring the Veterans Memorial to the North Shore.
It's almost like it was inevitable that the Pirates are going to win. They were going to be willed to victory because of the fan base and the city. And everybody kind of knew it, including the players.
Go back to 2003 when the Steelers played the Browns in a wild card game. And the Browns, they put it to the Steelers early on and had a 24-7 lead. And in 19 minutes, the Steelers scored 3 touchdowns and won the game. And that was pretty terrific.
Special memories there from the longtime voice of the Steelers, Bill Hillgrove. He, like Steelers president Art Rooney II, witnessed the North Shore go from an empty field to what it is today.
Channel 11's Jenna Harner sat down with Art Rooney, who talked about his front row seat and all the feelings that came with it.
Well, there's really hardly a day in the year that goes by that there's not some event taking place in one of the stadiums or Stage AE, and it's been great to see.
But of course, that didn't used to be the case on the North Shore.
The North Shore was basically a junkyard. On both sides of the bridge, when you got over there, it was like old tanks and Jeeps from World War II were laying around.
All of the immaculate moments that took place at Three Rivers Stadium over its 31-year history are forever etched in Rooney's mind. The goodbye to the stadium that brought the franchise 4 Super Bowl seasons in its first decade of existence, a bittersweet one.
We had such a great run there and so many great memories there, so I always remember walking out the door for the last time.
While the new stadiums were being built, preserving and celebrating the history of Three Rivers Stadium on the North Shore was key to both the Steelers and Pirates organizations.
We're kind of looking at the map and figured out that Gate D pylon was actually outside of the footprint of Heinz Field, and so we decided, okay, let's try and keep that. We love our history in Pittsburgh, and it's great that we've been able to have so much recognition on the North Shore of what happened in the early days.
And Rooney will never forget the changing of the guard, if you will, on a frigid February morning in 2001.
Well, I have to tell you, what I remember vividly is the day that Three Rivers Stadium was blown up, which was only about 20 feet across from Heinz Field, and I almost had to close my eyes because I wasn't sure what the impact was going to be on the new stadium.
It wasn't just about the stadiums for the organizations. It was a long-term commitment and investment to add to that former junkyard just across the river.
Seeing Three Rivers being built, just the North Shore changing and becoming a place where the community visited often. It was a dramatic change, and now to see everything that's happened, since Heinz Field and PNC Park went in, it's been they've been true catalysts for ongoing development.
With some classic Steelers flair to boot.
Of course, our fans love the tailgate and to show up very early for their tailgates, and so that's really become, I would say one of the hallmarks of the North Shore now are the tailgates, and there's some tailgate parties that have been going on since we opened the stadium that are still going on.
And Jenna is often on the North Shore on game day and can tell you the bars and the restaurants are as packed as the parking lots. New businesses are opening up in the area all the time.
Add in some condos and it's becoming a hit place to live, eat, and play. Channel 11's Amy Hudak talked to people who live and work on the North Shore who can't believe what it is today.
If you go back in time, Pittsburgh's North Shore was closely tied to the city's economy with river and rail commerce. That was before it became synonymous with stadiums, sports, and entertainment. Decades later, the sports and entertainment district is booming with commercial and residential development. Bars and restaurants line the banks of the Allegheny River, where the arts and culture is woven into the fabric of the neighborhood.
In my life, it's come a long way, but right now I would say encouragement.
Mike Sukich owns Mike's Beer Bar across from PNC Park. He grew up on the north side.
Every Christmas when I was a kid, my mom would give me 2 tickets to a Pirate game, opening day. This area that I'm standing in was a neighborhood my parents would let me come to.
More luxury apartments are going up. There's a floating venue and what's being called an entertainment concept with a bar, restaurant, and massive LED video screen is under construction right next to PNC Park.
I see a lot of construction going on in the neighborhood. There's more residential that's being built up down here to complement the commercial activity.
We are the #1 store in the company.
William Smalls is an operating partner at Tom's Watch Bar. He remembers what his bar used to be.
I think it was like either a parking lot or just a concrete slab before.
Smalls remembers going to the Steelers-Cowboys game 17 years ago.
Night and day, the businesses they have and just the amount of things to do, because I mean the walk from there to McFadden's was the only bar that we could go to. I feel like North Shore was an untapped opportunity to bring about new people and new businesses, so I'm glad they decided to build it up as much as they did.
He and Sukich say the 2026 draft is going to put Pittsburgh's North Shore on a world stage, while serving as a major economic boost for the Steel City.
The amount of people that are coming here for this draft, I think it's going to showcase Pittsburgh as an area for living and growing businesses and stuff.
Who knows, that may lead in our lifetime to maybe us hosting a Super Bowl as well.
Reporting on the North Shore, Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
And a big Ferris wheel could be an attraction for that Super Bowl. We'll take a look at the new Esplanade project that will extend the North Shore even more. Plus,
we had to think about what this would mean for our fans, particularly what it would mean for our students.
Next, the hard decision Pitt made to expand its campus to the North Shore and the bond it created with the Steelers.
The North Shore transformation helped build a strong and lasting partnership between Pitt and the Steelers.
Pitt and then Chancellor Mark Nordenberg knew it was a tough decision tearing down Pitt Stadium and extending the campus to the North Shore in Heinz Field. But in the end, Nordenberg said it opened up the city and so much more to Pitt students.
Someone once said to me that moving out of Pitt Stadium has to have been the hardest decision you've ever made. It wasn't. Because we did know that something had to be done.
It was the mid-90s. The Pitt football team was in a slump, and Pitt Stadium was in a slump of its own, crumbling and breaking down. We
also brought in a new coach, Walt Harris. And one of the things that Walt said was that when it comes to recruiting, recruits buy with their eyes. And what they could see with their eyes at Pitt in those days wasn't so good.
That's when the Pitt and Steelers partnership began, and with it, the move to the South Side and North Shore.
I would say that it was a kind of a mutual coming together, though I do want to say that 2 of the visionaries were Steve Peterson, our athletic director, and Freddie Fu, who was in charge of the sports medicine program here.
UPMC signed off on a medical complex near the joint practice facilities on the South Side, and construction began there and on the North Shore.
I'm sitting in my office one day and Dan Rooney calls and he says, "We're going to be looking at carpet samples for the East Club. Would you like to come down and see them?" Now, the truth is, I wouldn't look at carpet samples for a building on Pitt's campus, but that was a sign of how he wanted the partnership to work, which was incredibly generous of him.
That relationship has grown, thrived, and improved, just as the North Shore has. And the move to extend Pitt's campus from Oakland to the North Shore helps students explore Pittsburgh and expand their horizons.
We had more students attending those games down at what then was Heinz Field than we had attending the games when they were on campus. And I think that's because the students really came to view it as an outing, a chance to be involved in another part of the city.
And those students and everyone who visits the North Shore surely notice the picturesque and beautiful memorials lining North Shore Drive.
And Channel 11 Morning News anchor Jennifer Tomazic talked to a World War II veteran who played a role in making it happen.
The World War II Memorial sits proudly here on the lawn on North Shore Drive. It's just steps away from 2 other war memorials, as well as one to fallen police officers and their canines. And the spirit of these memorials really hits home with those who helped to get them built.
After the first 2 weeks, we were in Pinche when we were bombed by the Japanese.
John Vento of Penn Hills recalls memories from more than 80 years ago in New Guinea. The World War II veteran is now 102. He was integral in raising money for the World War II Memorial on the North Shore of Pittsburgh.
We did not have a memorial, and I was very happy to be part of that committee.
For several years, Vento and others helped raise $4 million selling these calendars.
That's me right there.
Eventually, in 2013, the World War II Memorial debuted at North Shore Riverfront Park. Channel 11 captured John and his family proudly attending the unveiling. Names, pictures, and anecdotes adorn the memorial. It tells the story of southwestern Pennsylvania's contribution to the war. We were also there 2 years later in 2015 when a canine statue was added to the Law Enforcement Officers Memorial of Allegheny County, just down the road on North Shore Drive. Channel 11 took you inside a Cleveland studio as the canine was cast in bronze before it eventually made its way to Pittsburgh. The memorial itself has been here since 2003 when it was relocated during the construction of Heinz Field.
It's horrible that we have to add so many names, but we want to honor anybody that we can. Any law enforcement officer that's killed in line of duty, we want to honor them. We have to honor them.
It's very personal to president of the memorial, Donna Best.
My husband's name is on that memorial. My husband was a deputy sheriff sergeant in the sheriff's office who was killed in line of duty on November 18th, 1983.
James's etched name and the 209 others are forever honored and forever looking out for us.
Our statue's name is Ever Watchful, and he is looking out to Point State Park, which is looking over the city, so the Law Enforcement Officers Memorial is watching over the city of Pittsburgh at all times.
There's a significance of the placement of all of the memorials on the North Shore. World War II, Law Enforcement Officers Memorial, Korean War, and Vietnam War.
Great location. Thousands of people see it now as they go to the ball games, as they go to shows. Today I see we had done a great job to build the memorial, and I'm happy to be part of that, where it will stand forever.
There are 6 memorials and public art displays here on the North Shore Riverfront's green lawn. And in 2008, the Sports and Exhibition Authority tells me that they put a moratorium on additional works to ensure enough green space on the lawn next to the river. Jennifer Tomazic, Channel 11 News.
Coming up, fun, food, family, and a Ferris wheel.
The project 10 years in the making that'll expand the North Shore even more. That's next.
Steelers and the Bears, cold, snowy December day. And Brian Urlacher, who was one of the better linebackers in the league, thought he had the bus wrapped up at the 5-yard line. Well, he did, but then he took a ride for 5 yards in the snow, and that picture of the bus carrying him into the end zone is something that you don't forget.
We love that picture, and we love a good story involving our colleague Jerome Bettis. And now we turn to the new project that'll extend the North Shore.
As Channel 11 News anchor Alyssa Raymond shows us, the Esplanade promises restaurants, shops, homes, and a Ferris wheel.
Along the Ohio River in Pittsburgh's Chateau neighborhood sits about 15 empty acres.
There's like 15 people that live in all of Chateau. So along that entire strand of riverfront, nobody lives there really.
With Pyatt Company's Esplanade project, that'll drastically change.
We're finally seeing more residential on the North Shore, which is great.
About 300 apartments will be built in the first phase of the $740 million project, along with 100 condos plus houseboats and 160,000 square feet of restaurants and retail.
We're going to look back on the Esplanade as the impetus for all of the growth that occurs up through Chateau, and really the extension of what I think has been very successful at the North Shore.
3 weeks ago, shovels finally moved dirt, a moment 10 years in the making. While it's still hard to imagine now, this will become this by 2029.
We want to have the Ferris wheel that people see, that lures people to the site, but we want all the other things to be the reason that people stay.
The Ferris wheel will sit on top of a 2-story building and will take riders more than 250 feet above the Ohio River.
George Ferris lived and died a couple blocks over, so for us it makes a ton of sense to bring a Ferris wheel to Pittsburgh. That's going to be overlooking the city and looking up the Ohio River. Beautiful, beautiful views.
Part of the project also brings the Three Rivers Heritage Trail closer to the river.
It's true river life. You know, this trail is going to be rebuilt, so you're going to be able to take your bike all the way from our site to Washington, D.C. This project opens up like 200 acres along the riverfront, so it's going to create a really great riverfront community long term.
Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
And with the NFL draft in April, more of us can enjoy all that the North Shore is becoming.
For now, we thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for counting on Channel 11.